I'm Elsie Arntzen, and I'm honored to be Montana's elected state superintendent of public education. I am very concerned about how the Biden administration is overstepping the authority of the federal government with the dangerous rewriting of the Title IX rules. The history of Title IX dates back to 1972, and it was meant to protect biological women from discrimination in educational programs and activities. As a mother, a woman, and a grandmother, I am grateful that Title IX provided women an equal opportunity to compete in sports and advance their education. President Biden and the U.S. Department of Education's unconstitutional rewrite of Title IX overturns 5 decades of protection, undermines fairness in sports, and increases the risk of discrimination and violence against young women. This extreme and illegal redefinition of biological sex is an attack on our families, an attack on our God-given rights, and an attack on the great state of Montana. This is the real war on real women. The overreaching Title IX changes directly conflict with Montana values and Montana law. The Montana legislature, who represent the people of our state, passed Senate Bill 458 by Senator Carl Glenn and House Bill 361 by Representative Brandon Lehr in full transparency during the 2023 legislative session. These bills were also signed by Governor Gianforte, and they protect our young women, our girls, and safeguard our students' freedom of speech. My granddaughters, Harper and Piper, along with all of our daughters and our granddaughters, deserve safety in the classroom, as well as in elementary, middle school, or high school bathrooms or locker rooms. All girls deserve to have fair access to compete in sports. Under these new discriminatory federal Title IX rules, students may be punished for sexual harassment simply for using biological correct terms. There is no science to these rules. They are based on a dangerous ideology being pushed by fringe organizations. Remember COVID. These are the same people who told us to follow the science. And remember, they attempted to shutter our classrooms, our schools, our churches, and our businesses across Montana and the country. Yet these same extreme activists refuse to acknowledge basic middle school biology lessons. Under the Biden administration, America has departed from the U.S. Constitution. No more, not in our Montana. Montanans are fed up with top-down federal mandates that disregard state rights, state laws, and American values. Here in Montana, we will not stand idly by while the federal government stomps on our Constitution. When these detrimental Title IX rule changes were being considered, I exposed the harm that this rule would cause. September 12th of 2022, I submitted comment to the U.S. Department of Education opposing this top-down federal mandate, stating that it would force schools to focus on regulating a new definition of harassment instead of allowing schools to focus on student success. The bureaucrats in D.C. did not heed my warning and have ignored the chorus of dissent by states across our nation. I stand with Montana's Attorney General Knudsen, who's leading a coalition of states by filing a lawsuit against the Biden administration's new rules. As State Superintendent of Public Instruction, I have directed Montana schools to not implement the new Title IX rules that will foster more violence and discrimination against our young girls. The new rules do not take effect until August, and the legal challenges are mounting to stop this attack on young women and biological sex. Currently, Montana law still stands, and schools must abide by the laws of our state. Here in Montana, we put our families and our children's education first. We will not comply to the continual attacks on our way of life. We will not compromise when it comes to protecting Montana's children. We will win for our families, for our great state of Montana, and for our nation. Thank you.